What's going on, guys? Host Tunde here. Welcome to another episode of Afrobeats Weekly, the podcast about African music on the continent and the diaspora. Another week, another podcast episode. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the last month of the year. I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope it was a fantastic year. If not, we go again next year. The IJGBs are already trooping into Lagos. I heard traffic last night on Lekki Express was crazy. Man, just stay safe out there, guys, especially if you're in Lagos. Shout out everybody from all the other continents too. We are not left out. All the places where your Christmases will be white. It's just Hamadan, heat and traffic here in Lagos. Everybody's already complaining. So yeah, before we get to today's episode, I need you guys to please rate and review this podcast. Engagement helps us grow, helps us get noticed. So as you're listening from your favorite app right now, leave that 5-star rating and comments. We'd appreciate it. On today's episode, it's still all about the end of the year list, but this time ours. We're giving you our own list. Show's got his, I got mine. We'll be giving you an album of the year, song of the year, and stuff like that. And as usual, new songs, turntable charts, eliminate, and all that other good stuff. Can you explain to the listeners why you're making a record late today? What's the problem?
Nothing, man. Just hosted a games night last night. It was crazy.
How was that?
It was fun. Kind of affected my voice, but we'll do it again. Go again.
I trust you, MC of the day. So how's that? What's the music like? The music played. What was it like? Was it like old school Afrobeats? What's the vibe like?
So every you pick a card as a game. You pick a card and your group picks the song. So it could be if your group are Afrobeat heads, y'all sing an Afrobeat song. If you guys really love R&B music, you sing R&B music. So it all depends on what you guys like.
Okay. Sounded like you guys just had fun. I could tell that. I think I was watching your stories. I was living vicariously through your.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
so I see people dancing and having fun. Yeah, look like a very good vibe.
Yo, man, don't worry. We'll host you next year.
Yeah, sure. I'll be there. Taking the first flight to Canada next year. Anyways, on my end, nothing really. Just been listening to music or pop music, and I'm just always hyped and tweeting about it and raving about it. And people are like, "Oh, nice song. Thank you for what you're doing." I'm like, okay. It's what I do.
Yeah, man, the list be dope, right? I listened to a couple of stuff that you also sent, and a couple of artists on the list. Yo, man, it's nice stuff, man.
Yeah, so much talent out there, man. Talented.
Hopefully they don't sign horrible deals.
We'll get to that. Let's first trash Paul's fan mail. This family is from Paul. I was supposed to read it last week, but the mail came in late. Paul says, "No be small hype FC hype this album when it dropped though. What? I'm sorry. I'm probably not a music guru, but it sounded nothing like the masterpiece they hyped it up to be. It's an okay project, just there. No track stood out for me, but that's just me. Or maybe I need to give it a couple more spins. Maybe. By the way, the music snippets before each track review should stay. Bless." Yeah, if you guys are not familiar with what I'm talking about Wizkid's album, in case you are wondering,
yo, man,
hype MCs. I feel like you should give it a couple more spins, Paul. It's not a bad album. I wouldn't call it the masterpiece like they're calling it either. But a lot of people believe, some people are even saying it's better than Made in Lagos, but to each his own. So run it back. I think you should run it back, Paul. You'll catch some gems there, especially those R&B features. I guarantee that those are very stellar jams. With the music snippets and Afrobeats Weekly, we'll definitely do more of that next year. I think more of that will come next year. Yeah. So, yeah. Do you want to say anything?
No, man. I think again, I think the album is good for what it is.
Yeah,
If you compare it to his last outing, it's a way better album. I have my what's my only irk about the album is that he's not promoting the album. That's the only thing. I think it can even be bigger and better than what it is.
you know what it is.
If
Yeah,
only he just promotes the album. That's all. Just promoting the album. But
bro.
anyways, giving him
Okay,
that. But good
Whiskey's
music.
promo. You could just screenshot one song, put that for IG story. That's week
Bro,
one.
like
Week two, screenshot another song, put the IG story.
yo, man.
Week three release video of him just vibing and doing stuff, and that's it. Or you will just post Spotify highest something something Whiskey Morayo. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I guess you get to a certain level where the work speaks for you, but at the end of the day, I think everybody should still, you know, put in work in terms of like post is it post marketing promotional? Well, how they say it? Sha, when you release an
Yes.
album, promote it. Don't follow Whiskey though. It's different. It's different. They don't say because Whiskey don't promote it, so you better promote your shit aggressively.
Bro,
Oh yeah,
bro.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Paul, that's it. Give it a couple of more spins. I'm sure you like a couple of songs there. Let's get into the news. It's Google. I said Google. 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 Okay, Google. Google releases the most searched song lyrics and the most Googled songs of 2024. That's the first news we have here. Google has released the most searched lyrics of 2024. And you wouldn't believe me if I told you what the most searched song lyrics are. Or maybe you would, but let me go from 10 to 1. 10 favorite girl remix Daco and Davido. 9 the new national anthem Nigerian lyrics. 8 Abanikonda lyrics Naira Marley and Zinoleski. Twe lyrics Kiss Daniel that's number 7. 6 commas are star 5 hopes. Hope lyrics XXX Tentacion. Gen Z they go through this one like that. Barava lyrics at 4 Kiss Daniel. Omema lyrics Chandler Moore, Ozeba lyrics are 2 Rema, and 1 I can give you 10 guesses so you even guess this one.
Ah, 10
That's
guesses and I
that.
won't get it.
Yeah, you even it's a popular song, I guess. It's like a popular TikTok song.
Don't worry, I won't guess it. Don't worry. That's it. You lost me at TikTok song.
It's Ogechi, Marama, Banding, Murama. Yeah, I guess a lot of people wanted to, learn the lyrics of the song, especially when Davido jumped on it. Okay, for the most Googled song, the previous one was song lyrics. This one is just song. I think this one too will surprise you a bit. The most Googled song. Let's go from 10 to 1. That's the most searched songs in Nigeria in 2024. Shwala Bam, Titom and UP at number 10. Tokyo Remix is down featuring Davido at number 9. At 8, we have Ogechi, Brown Joe, Highs, Boy P, Davido. Double by Kiss Daniel at number 7. Ego by Chike at number 6. Piece of My Heart, Whiskey 5. Twetwe at 4, Kiss Daniel. 3, Commas, Aya Star. 2, Ozeba, Rema, number 1. And not this one. 20 guesses. You won't get it.
Yo, man. You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
It's a Boy Spice. I don't care. Tell you that guessed it. If you call me, you
No way. No way would that have
okay.
crossed my mind. No way.
When I said that, I was like, no way, this is the most said song in Nigeria. But yeah, there you have it. This is actually the most searched song in Nigeria. Boy Spices, I don't care. Let's go on to news item number 2 here. Rema set to headline Japan's first ever Afrobeats festival, Afro Jam. Last week, we said Afrobeats was doing better outside the country than inside the country. And it seems like Japan is joining the outside the country movement with Afro Jam. Its very first Afrobeats festival, and Rema is set to headline the event, which will take place at Okinawa Arena from July 18 to 2025.
Damn.
Afro Jam will also feature international stars like Jason Derulo and Shensia, adding even more excitement to the lineup. I'm sure they will still add a couple of more people. So yeah, big ups
Yeah,
Afrobeats.
definitely.
Yeah, shit is popping all the way in Japan, man. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, man. That's good. That's good look.
Yeah, so let's get into the news that was very, very was everywhere on the internet this week. Shallipopi and Muiz confirms plea from Dapper Music, accuses label of breach of trust. Surprise, surprise, I guess. After nearly 3 years of partnership, Shallipopi, Muiz, and Dapper Music have parted ways. This is Shallipopi's statement. In a post on the social media pages on December 11, 2024, Shallipopi announced the split in a public release where he cited breach of trust and lack of transparency as the reason for his decisions. Shallipopi also claimed that Dapper Music attempted to lock him into a forever contract that would entitle the label to 30% of his revenues in perpetuity. According to him, I don't have a Shallipopi voice, so I'll just read it in my normal voice. he tried to, he tried to look and Shallipopi he doesn't have. It can't, I'm not saying he can't speak English, but hardly speaks English. Anyways, he said in English, they tried to look into a contract where they take 30% of my earnings forever, even after I parted ways, even after they no longer work for me, they want to continue to take a whole 30% of my earnings in perpetuity. That's just unfair, it's exploitation, and it's cruel. Of course, Dapper has responded to the allegations with statements of their own, denying the claims and labeling it shocking and unfounded. The assistant at the level has fully cooperated with Shallipopi and his auditors on Shallipopi's allegations that Dapper made him sign off 30% of his interest in perpetuity. The label clarified that there was no such term in his contract, while adding that the rapper willingly accepted a 30% management cost, which is the rate that meets global standard. Dapper Music also calls the attack on the label premeditated, false, and sponsored by proxies who envy the company's success. Anyways, I guess before I to my thoughts, well, let me just repeat it here briefly. I think these things just boil down to greed from both parties. It's the regular, in the beginning, label tries to take advantage of an artist. Then when the artist is desperate, then the artist, blows, realizing that he's not a star, but nothing to show for it. He wants out of the contract. So it's the whole label artist cycle that never ends. It never really ends. I heard, or let me use the word allegedly, like there was allegedly, Dapper collected a very handsome advance from Virgin. And I think this artist kind of found out and like wanted a piece of it, like given what they brought to the label, and they're like, you know what? The label will be like, oh, I made you. Then those will be like, no, you didn't make me. I made the label. So I don't know. So I don't know. I think with these things, sometimes there's no right side and there's no wrong side. It just depends on whose side you're on, to be honest. That's how I feel about it because it's a never ending topic that next year I'm sure one person will leave his label and we'll come and discuss it here again. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. So my own take is always like, why do labels need or see the need to have like, I think 3 years should be a nice investment. Like, I think 3 years is a nice time to like sign someone for. If you don't see returns after 3 years, you guys part ways, everybody moves on. Or 3 projects. I don't understand this 10 years, 15 years, 20 years thing that they be trying to sign people for. So that's just me. I don't know if there's a standard like when everybody writes their agreements and all that. If there's something that look, man, it has to be double digit years for you
Yeah.
to be signed for this label. So that's just my own. I was like, why can't I just make it short or like a couple projects and then
Yeah,
everybody
because
will
I
cancel
don't know,
after that?
because you know how it is. It's just a great thing, taking advantage of an artist that because this guy is hungry, he will easily sign 10 years
It's
or five
fine, man.
years.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just always that at the end of the day, if this guy is now blue, they'll not be like, am I crazy? Why did I sign 10 years? But at the end of you can always say, but they came to you, you signed it with your lawyer, you actually agreed. So so I don't know, it's however we choose to look at it sometimes, it's just a never ending cycle. Because sometimes I want to be on the side of this artist, but when you hear the things they start doing when they start making money, and then you don't want to pity them. And then on the side of the label too, when you hear like the contract they put these guys through, you don't want to pity them, but like again, when you hear the amount of money they spend on it, so I don't know. It's just a very funny. It's just a very funny thing to. Sometimes I'm on the side of the label, sometimes I'm on the side of the artist, but I just always say whatever it is you want to do, just make sure you're ready to face the consequences. If you want to scatter everything, scatter it. Just so that you're a blackboard, you might not, have the power you once had, but you never can tell. Yeah, so
Mm.
that's it. Yeah. That's it with the Shallipopi and Muiz. Muiz was like, "Oh, I'm a minor. I did not know when I signed the contract." People are like, "But your dad was there." People are like, "No, but he's a minor." Anyways, good luck to everybody involved.
When he was a minor.
Yeah, shout out everybody involved. Anyways, let's get to our lists. I have mine. Show has his. We have four categories here: Rookie of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Artist of the Year. We'll give our top five. If we have honorable mentions, we'll drop them, but we'll list them to, at least for me, I'm listing album of the year. I don't have a list for artist of the year. Song of the year for me, just vibes. I don't have like a list because there was no like clear cut winner for me. Uh, so let's have a rookie of the year. For me, it was between two guys. One had the streets on lock, the other had the critics raving. It was between Ayamaf and Lona. Ayamaf had one of the biggest songs of the year with Dealer with Fireboy. Also dropped a good project. Lona had one of the best albums of the year with Homeless. Personally, because I am body or work biased, I lean towards Lona. And I've seen what he has been able to do real time with like building a fan base and a community that likes his music and is willing to pay for his music. And that is like me, like that is like one of the things I always preach. If anybody knows me, I'm not saying IMF, hasn't done this thing or isn't doing the same thing or isn't as equally talented. But when it just came down to me choosing, it was just like a personal preference thing. And like I said, Lona had like one of the top 10 albums this year. In fact, top five on a lot of people's lists, top 10 in mine. So yeah, Lona rookie of the year for me, man. I don't know if you have a different rookie of the year. Shoot.
So unfortunately, I have a different rookie of the year as well.
Yeah.
So my issue is like I don't exactly know. Do I consider him a rookie? Because like if you go to his geography and all this stuff, discography, you see
Yeah.
that he's been out like for a while.
For
So
a
he's
while.
had
Yeah.
songs. However, this year he dropped two different projects, and of course he's signed now. He has his label. So for me, it's Ordeal as my rookie of the year.
Yeah.
That's where I put it. He had two EPs this year. Sunday at Zuri's, which was more Afro beats,
Yeah.
and then he had the
Astropolis.
Lestropolis, which was like a straight R&B EP.
Yeah.
So those I think are like awesome projects. Both of them had like two songs that like part of my song of the year like
Yeah.
nominees. So
Yeah.
to me, and of course he had a very big single.
Yep. 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 No
It's
doubt.
kind of like a song of the year as well. So hey, he ticked all the boxes for me. So
Yeah.
yes,
No
I
doubt.
have
No doubt. No doubt.
I have Odile as my rookie of the year.
Okay, sure. As Odell as his rookie of the year, no matter that. I mean, some people argue, but again, it's his list. No matter, I say it, actually say it. He's one of those guys that was up there and did very, very amazing with those two projects too. If you guys haven't heard it again, go and listen to him. Man. Solid projects. So song of the year for me, no lists. So let me just get through my own. For me, this was just based off what I listen to the most. I think there were a lot of good songs this year, but no clear cut hits that had like staying power that you could say, oh, this one is that if even if you like this song, you can objectively say this is it, unanimous song of the year. So mine was just based off my listening habits. I think so the song I listened to the most this year for some reason, and it's Commas by Ira Star. Don't ask me why. I just love the song. It was like it was like it. And it was like I used to hum everywhere, sing everywhere. The album I played the fuck out of it. So yeah, Commas by Ira Star, my song of the year. Over to you.
So I have a list, and it's off
Yeah.
the songs It's off the songs that I personally so they put in my Afrobeats
Yeah.
playlist, and these are the songs that are the most played songs. So I have a nice list.
Okay.
However, I have a top five, and of course, there's honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions are Ira Star Jazzy Song. And the Jazzy Song, come on. Come on. It has to be. And Thames with Burning, which of course is also,
Burning
I
and
think, was kind of a big song.
burning. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so my top five is at number five, Niniola with Pepe Dem,
Okay.
Fireboy
That's gonna
with
come.
Need Me, Fireboy with Need Me,
Okay.
Ordeal with Onome,
All right.
top two, Victoni with Anita. Anita,
Okay. Yeah.
and number one was my most played song. I think probably I played this song just as much as I played They Not Like Us. Was Rema and Yayo.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Rema and Yayo is my song of the year.
All right, Rema Yeyo has shows playlist. That's number one. Normality two, because that album I also jammed it a lot. So album of the year, let's go there. For album of the year for me, this one was based on albums I enjoyed. Albums I constantly went back to in terms of quality, I admit some albums are better than my number one, but my number one was just what I slammed until I got, I didn't get tired. So let me start with my honorable mentions list first. I have, if there was a top 10, these two will be there. I have Lona's Homeless and Victoria's Stubborn. Again, if I had a top 10, they'd make the list because these albums, in terms of quality, were up there with some of the best albums that came out this year. But my top five just got more spins, I guess. So at five, I have Tyler's Tyler. Four, I have Rema's He Is. Three, I have Fireboy's Adedamola. Two, I have Thames Born in the Wild, and I have Stars the Year I Turned 21 is my number one. So my number one album this year because it was just the project I enjoyed and went back to the most. It offered me nothing too deep. It was fun, easy to vibe with. I think I had a mixture of good R&B songs, good pop songs. It was like the perfect balance of like heartfelt and feel good vibes. That one gave us Goodbye with Ashake, Bad Vibes with Shea Vibes, Last Heartbreak Song with Giveon, Jazzy song, Criminally Underrated. I thought the song was going to do better. The only criticism I have about the album was that they should have, I think, promoted or put out better singles. But other than that, this was the album I went back to the most. Listen without stress. I didn't have to be in like any headspace. So, album of the year for me, I stars the year I turned 21.
Okay, that was a great list. I'm not even going to lie to you. That was actually a great list. It's kind of funny because our lists literally mirror each other, but it's
For
just
real.
like the order is just a difference.
That's different. Okay.
Okay, so my honorable mentions. I'm sorry that's your number one, but my honorable mention is I started the year I turned 21.
Okay.
Just misses out. And number two is Fireboy Adedamola. Just misses out as well.
Okay.
Now, the reason why they just missed out is also a reason why you just like you talked about. Is like one,
Yeah.
I don't think Arista put out the right singles. That was one for me. And two, I don't think Fireboy actually, what's the word again? He did not promote Adedamola.
Yeah.
Which I thought,
It
like,
did.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I
Yeah.
thought Adedamola is one of his best albums, one of
Best
his better
albums ever.
albums.
Yeah.
And if he did promote this album would have been a top three for me.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like, hey, look, man, you copped out on a really good project that could have been ringing wild. Didn't go on tour, wasn't on any part.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see
Yeah.
him anywhere. Like you just dropped this album and just pah. And I always tell people, like, look, man, you got to work this material because ain't nobody gonna work it for you. So
Yep.
great body of work, but I'm still gonna give it to like. So my top five is still like people that held the year down. So At number five, I mentioned it when it first came out. Memes by any means, I thought
That's
was one of the
necessary.
best
Yes. Yeah.
projects. I like it when a rookie comes out or his first album or whatever. You're not one of the first names, and you're like,
It's not necessarily a rookie though, but yeah, I get what you mean.
I know it's like exactly like you're
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
person,
like
you're not on
yeah,
everybody's lips
yeah.
exactly, and you come
You
out with a
just come out,
solid,
yes.
solid body of work. I still listen to the album, so that's my number five. At number four, should be higher on my list. Should be higher because this was my most played Afrobeat
Tyler,
album. Was Tyler's Tyler. I don't care what anybody says. This was
solid
a
project,
dope
man.
album from top to bottom. Flawless album. So that's my number four.
Okay,
At number three, why I said it in number three is Rema's Haze. Again, you know, again, I commend this album just because of what it did and the step and the risk he took,
yeah,
and it paid off. So I can't front. This is a dope album. At number two, you already know where she's going to sit in the entire world, but Thames Born in the Wild is a
on in the
solid,
wild, in the wild.
solid album. It's like Thames album is basically like when the NBA said they were going to draft LeBron straight out of high school. And everyone's like, this is the chosen one. I think it's too much. It would be too much pressure. The NBA is different. And she comes in and delivers,
Yeah,
playing like a vet on her first album. That's the analogy I have. Like
yeah,
she's really like she's been here, she's a star. She's been here multiple times. Like
yes, there.
this, this is a Mariah Carey level of confidence. So I thought she dominated this entire year. But Born in the Wild, solid project number two. And my number one, when it came out in June, I said I don't think any album is going to beat this album, and that is Victoni's Stubborn. I don't care what anybody says. This is the best album of the year.
Dope,
Number
dope
one,
album. No, like,
Shallipopi, History, Ludo, Anita, Everything Risk. That 1 to 6 run was flawless.
yeah.
That track 1 to 6, flawless. He had St. John on Tiny Apartment, which you liked. I remember you liked that
Yes,
song.
yes, I love it.
Exactly. Then he had like a nice, feature list. So he had St. John, he had Tezo, and I think Ashake with Stubborn, which was the title track, and that was also dope. And the album also finishes really strong. Sunday School and Street Affair. So yes, Victoni album of the year for me.
Right, not even remotely mad at list. I mean, it's also high up there in a lot of people's list. So, Victoni, big ups to you. You have a dope album. And again, numbers wise, to the album is doing amazing. It's one of those albums where you know that, you go to see number one, number two, number three, like they have like similar numbers, meaning there's no like standout track and everybody just listening to like the same thing and just playing it from top to bottom. So, dope album by Victoni, not mad at it at all, man. Let's move on to artist of the year. I don't have a list. I just have one person. A lot of people are not a lot of people, but yeah, she. Going by your LeBron analogy, everything you said on that LeBron analogy is correct. So it is easily terms for me. you know, if I start to read the accolades and achievements this year, we're not going to even come up for here. But I love her consistency throughout the year. She dominated the international charts with her voice. Her album was amazing. She's up for 3 Grammys next year. Her global appeal has only expanded with sold out tours across continents. She was headlining major performances and festivals. And I feel like there's no criteria you're using to pick a top artist this year that she's not like top three in that category. Like critically acclaimed album, she's there. Sold out tours, she's there. Huge single, Love Me JJ, there. Streaming numbers, she's there. So for me, I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that similarly, God of Thames came through, and for me, she's my 2024 Artist of the Year. So yeah, that's it.
Yo, you didn't even go. You didn't even come with a list. I came with a list, so
All
unfortunately,
right.
I have to
Shoot,
go through.
shoot,
I have
shoot,
to go
shoot.
through my list. I
All
have
right.
to go my. All right, so my
Let me
number
listen.
five. Okay, so my number five is Victoni.
Okay.
Yes, strong album. Again, strong album. He had a nice mini tour. I liked it. His presence was felt this year, so give him a shout out. At number five. At number four, I have IR Star. Again, great album. Yes, the singles could have been better, but I still saw her presence. She was notably around, I would say, like the first half of the year. Like I saw her like a bunch of times first half of the year. So I started to shine, but like kind of dwindled at the end of the year. I have Rema at number three, just straight off the project, just off the album alone. Ballsy move for the fact that you already have the international market last year with the
Yeah.
highest Afrobeat song in the world. Any normal person, every other star would have
Yeah.
just come back with the same formula the next year. But this is Rema, son of the soil, Benin boy, taking it
Bro.
like straight left, bringing it back home with a style and a sound that nobody else was doing. And it rang off and it connected with so many people. So just off of that alone, he's number three. At number two, I have it. I still say is the best. Is the project that has ranked the most for the entire year. It came out in March. She dropped the deluxe album as well, which had a couple more singles and is still ringing. Cleared
Yep.
up all the awards in Europe and all that. Billboard, she's there anywhere. She's there.
Bro,
The only
I think
one
he has
thing
one
that
billion streams too now, Seth.
Yo, fam. The only one thing that she didn't do, and it wasn't on her. Well, hey, again, I don't even know if it was on her or not. Is that she canceled her tour? And that was Tyler. I thought that
Yeah.
if she did still have the tour, yeah, she said she lost her voice at that point, so she couldn't do it. So if she if that
I
had
think
not
at that point
happened,
they were kind of skeptical.
how would
But
they
yeah,
have been
that's that.
skeptical?
I just think
How would
so.
they?
Like I just think they were like, should we know? Is she big enough? So they just kind of canceled
It
it. But
wasn't.
now,
It wasn't a big ass concert. Like she was just going on tour. Like it wasn't like
yeah,
big sold out,
I don't know.
stadium. So it was like,
That's my theory anyway. I don't know. I might be wrong.
anyways, I think she just lost her voice, and they didn't want let's not ruin anything
Stressed.
because
Yeah,
she was quiet for a while. She was actually quiet when she lost her voice, kind of thing.
yeah,
She wasn't
yeah.
anywhere. Festivals, she wasn't there. So it's like that summer where she could have been on tour and been in the festival, she wasn't. So that's the only reason why she didn't make my artist of the year. And number one, of course, you said everything is Thames. Nobody has dominated 12 straight. This is literally 12 straight months
Bro.
of hard work. If you want to talk about late night TV, she was there. She performed. You want to talk about pods, she was there. Tiny Desk, she was there. Where did we not see her? Her concert. She went around the entire world. She went to North America. She was in Europe. She went all the way to Australia. Like
Australia.
she did it
Jeez.
all. She did it all. I think she's in Dubai now or something like that. Anyways,
Yeah.
she's done it all. God of Thames dominated the entire year. And so with that, strictly no one can even compare as artist of the year,
Bro,
hands down.
artist of the year, hands down for me too, man. She had that burner run. Which year would we give burner artist of the year? I think 2 years ago.
Bro, exactly. So this is it. This is when we always say like, hey man, if you just want to see an artist being worked and working everything, this is
Yeah.
exactly how we say it. So shout out to her, man. Shout out to her team. Like they do well.
Shout out to our team. So I guess artist of the year, unanimous for us here on Afrobeats Weekly. It is Thames from beginning of the year. We're like God of Thames, and the guy just came through from January, February, March, April, May, June, to December. So yeah, man. Thames 2024 Afrobeats Weekly Artist of the Year. So there were new songs. I'm not going to lie. It was "Come On Look" by Saz and Asake, "Flow" by Runtown, and "Mega Money Mega" by Tiwa Savage. And I'm just going to summarize everything and say all the songs were cool. I just listened to it. I'm never going to listen to this only once. I'm never going to come here and tell you that. Oh, I think this is. I listened to everything only once because I had a very busy weekend. But like on my first listen, all the songs just sounded cool. Flow by Runtown, especially. I think I like the vibe I was trying to go with. Yeah, so that's it. I don't know if you listen and if you can share more.
Not really, man.
If you,
I'm still on the album, so trust me. I didn't like dwell on it. So hey,
yeah, I
it's
think it
like
was the same.
I'll just go with yours. It was cool. It was cool.
It was cool. All cool songs. All right, let's round up with the charts. Turntable charts this week. I mean, it's looking different from last week a bit, spreading out a bit. At 10, we have Ben Whiskey. At 9, we have Panotono, Kiss Daniel, and Adekunle Gold. At 8, coming back to the charts is Awolowo by Fido. 7, Piece of My Heart coming down. That's Wizkid and Brent Fires. New on the charts, Give Me Your Love, Zlatan and Olamide. I haven't heard this song, but I guess it's doing things. If you come, we come Buju and Rema at number 5. Bad Girl, Wizkid and Ashake at number 4. I will get Davido and YG Mali at number 3. One of my favorite songs this year, Toma, Roga and Tiwa Savage climbing up to number 2. And number 1 last week, number 1 this week, Kese by Wizkid. So yeah, that's it. We still dominating the end of the year charts. If we had random, if we had a top 10 album of the year, would we be on it?
Would he have made it? So right now I called 7. I already put 7. I put who else didn't make my list? Yeah,
Ashake didn't
he
make
would have
it.
made it.
Well,
He would
Ashake
have
have made
yeah.
it.
He would have made it ahead of Wiz. Nah, the album would have made it ahead of Wiz. That's fair. We can't even lie. That's fair. He would have made it over Wiz.
So which
Um,
one was
Luna
missing?
would have made it. Luna
Lungu
would
Boy
have
was
made it.
missing.
Lungu Boy is the only album that wouldn't have made top 10, I
Okay.
believe. And that's not a knock to Ashake. It's just that this year had really good projects. Like it was a really
Yeah, it
again,
did. It did.
we said it. It was a really strong year with albums and quality albums. I think the only people that missed this year again is our boy. What do you call it? Oxlade. I think
I think
Oxlade and
people that
Oxlade.
dropped Oxlade, we didn't really. I think the bunch too. We were kind of like we didn't really like the album. I think
Dimanche. I like Padaranki's album. I thought it was fresh and nostalgic at the same time.
an album
So
that
yeah,
came and went, but would have made it for me was No Love in Lagos, Cavemen, and
true. And this and
SDC. Yeah,
FBC.
but it
Yeah.
kind of like just came and went. I guess because they didn't really promote it too, so
I
they didn't really
mean, they had a
have.
couple. They have a couple shows where they're playing it up and down. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
they didn't
I
have
kind of
staying
understand.
power. What else? Jiggy Forever, Young John was quite. It was a big album, but I just didn't.
Nah, I didn't
Numbers
connect with it.
wise, yeah, numbers
I
wise, it
didn't
was a
connect.
big album, but I didn't connect with it either. Then let me see again. Oh, how about Ikigai Olamide? Did you review it? I think we
We
did,
did. It
but we
was the
didn't like it. We didn't
EP.
really like it. I think.
It was the EP. It had a couple songs. So again, it was one of those.
Okay,
I
I
picked
didn't
three
like it.
songs.
I can remember me not liking it and being like, "You can't rap again."
Exactly. You know, like it. Exactly. And that's one of the things. And that's exactly.
Yeah,
If it was any other year, it would have made a top. It would have made a top 10. Again, I still say it's because the quality of albums that came out this year was way better than previous years, where you had body of works that people we actually listened to and went back over and over again. So if you had
yeah.
an album that had like 3 songs that we didn't like, we're not coming back to you at all.
Bro, it's hard though. Because album, guy. And imagine how many international albums we listen to in that group chat again. When you come and say, "Oh, this album is dope." Look at this another person go, "Oh, this album is so dope." Like, Jesus, yes, you breathing space. I mean, I had to embark on listening to almost 20 songs a day at the gym because I just get songs in my middle. So if the song doesn't hit, if that one doesn't hit, man, it's pretty difficult to go back to.
It's too
So
hard, man. It's too
yeah.
hard. So that's it, man. You got to quality ahead of quantity. You always
Yes.
got to know this, man.
Yeah. You're right. You're right about that. Oh yeah. So thank you guys for listening to this episode of Afrobeats Weekly. We hope you enjoyed it. New episode of the podcast drops every Monday. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, and wherever you get your podding from. We would love to hear from you. Use the hashtag Afrobeats Weekly. Leave us comments, suggestions, new music. Send it to family at afrobeatspod.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram on AfrobeatsPod, and we will catch you in the next episode. Peace out, people. Peace out.
Peace.